everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Schroeder, and I am going to be your instructor for your next course, or maybe for some of you, the first course in the program, which is Theory and Professional Roles of Nursing. I have been doing these introduction videos for about the last year or so. Each week I will be posting an introduction video to give a little bit of an introduction to the upcoming week's learnings, give a little bit of review about the discussions for the previous week, and basically just use it as a way to kind of give a face to the class so that you see that there's a real instructor here that's really reading your discussion questions and reading your papers and giving some, hopefully some more personal feedback to make it feel a little bit more like a real class. I do these classes individually for each course and for each course in each week, of course. So I'm actually doing them in real time. So I'm recording this on the Thursday before class actually starts. Class is starting this upcoming Monday. And I've opened the course a little bit early for you so that you can get an idea what the reading assignments are and get a little bit of a feeling for what the assignments are actually coming up. The focus of this course is on really all things having to do with professional roles in nursing. Each one of you comes to this program. You've already completed an associate's degree. For most of you anyway, it's an associate's degree in nursing. And so now you're moving up the ladder and you're moving on to a more advanced degree with eyes on doing something in a more of an advanced practice role. And so the focus of this class is to talk a little bit about what that means. What does it mean when we use the term professional nursing? And how is professional nursing, or it brings up a question, is there a difference between the nursing care that's provided by a non-graduate nurse, in other words, a non-bachelor's or master's prepared nurse? Is there a difference in the quality of care or in the type of care that's delivered between that and an associate degree nurse, which by definition, an associate degree is not really a professional degree, it's a vocational degree. So is nursing really an occupation or a profession? And that's where we really start this first week of discussion, is just from a very broad perspective. What is it that we mean by professional? What are the qualities of a true professional? And why is that question important? Or is it important? That's going to be the focus of our discussion this week. Each week you will have a discussion question, only one discussion question each week. And the discussion questions are always going to be due on Wednesdays by midnight, with your follow-up responses, 2 follow-up responses to student peers due on Saturday each week. Important concept when it comes to grading. Your initial response, of course, always has to be cited, always has to be written with a certain scholarly style and APA. And then your responses to peers should be completed throughout the week. In other words, you should be participating in class a minimum of 3 days each week. The first day for when you initially post your response in class, and then on 2 subsequent days during the week. Now you can go ahead and post as many times as you want to, and I encourage you to post to as many students as you feel that you would like to or feel comfortable posting to. But in order to make the discussion forums dynamic and make them really work, they really require discussion throughout the week, right? You know, in other words, you can't just come in on come in on Wednesday, post your initial response, sign out of class, then come in on Saturday, review everybody's responses, and then pick 2 of them and then just respond to 2 of them. That's not really an ongoing discussion. So for a full grade, it will be participating throughout the week, exceeding the minimal expectations, showing some real thought and some helping to kind of push the discussion along. I primarily participate by posing new questions, by sometimes playing the devil's advocate, and helping to kind of get that participation going, to get try to squeeze as much learning as I can out of each week's discussions. So I will leave it to you to review the discussion questions, review the syllabus for the entire class. As you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and post them. And I generally will be able to get into class usually every day. I actually do always get in at least once a day. Sometimes it may be a day and a half before you actually see a response, depending on the time of the day that I actually access the class and the time that you post your question. Maybe 24 hours, up to 48 hours to see a response, but generally speaking, I can get a response to you almost always within 24 hours. Note that I am on the Pacific Coast. I am on the Pacific Coast time zone. So there is a time difference between where I'm at right now and for those of you on the East Coast, and usually about 80% of the students in class are in the East Coast. So realize that if you post something early in the morning, I may not see it until late at night, or if you post something late at night, depending on when I get into class, there's a little bit of a lag time there. So just be aware of that. I will let you go ahead and review my bio. I actually spend my time part-time here in Rosarito Beach, Mexico, where I have a condo, and then I have a home in Southern California as well. And most of my work is done online, although I do occasionally work in the hospital still. And so I kind of jump across the border every week or so. And so you may be seeing me here in my little office here, or from my office down in Southern California. It just depends on where I'm at that week. The other, one more, as I'm looking, just so that nobody's confused, you'll see that in week 1 there is an assignment for a reflective journal. And initially it looks like, well, this is in week 1, so this is due this week. But if you read through the assignment, you see that it's actually not due until week 8. However, it is a journal that you should be focusing on here in week number 1. The goal of this journal is to get you tied in with your academic advisor and get you starting to thinking now about your clinical placements and your preceptorships and mentorships later on in the program. And at some point during this class or within your first 16 weeks of the program or in your first 2 classes, you will have had a appointment with and an interview of your academic advisor, posting some questions. And the journal is basically just a report of that conversation. So it's listed here in week number 1, although it's not actually due until week 8. So I didn't want anybody to get too upset and look at it and say, oh my gosh, I have this first written assignment due this week. It's one that you should really start now. You should start to review and think about a little bit what your upcoming goals are going to be, how a advisor can help you with that. But the actual written assignment isn't going to be due until much later in class. You will be doing some group work in class. I encourage you to review the syllabus and look at what those assignments are going to be. I will be posting group assignments a little bit later. I'll be posting more information about that later as we get into class. It's difficult for me to really do group assignments in the first week because I don't even know exactly who's going to be in class yet. Sometimes there's some late adds, and even more often than that, people will be assigned to a class and then never attend or decide in the first week that they're not going to continue. And so I don't really know until week 2 exactly what my roster is going to be. So just bear with me with that. I will be posting the group assignments a little bit later in the class, not during this first week. As you have any questions, please let me know. You'll see in my faculty bio there is an alternative email, my Yahoo email. That is the quickest way to get a hold of me. If you have a question that you really need a burning answer to right away, that's probably the fastest way to get a hold of me because I get those emails on my cell phone. Otherwise, just post a message in the class. Really posting in the class is what I encourage you to do, because if you post a message in class, everybody gets the benefit of the answer. Way easier for me to just answer one question for the class rather than the same question to 5 different people via email. So don't be shy about posting questions in class. I look forward to being with you throughout the class. This is a excellent course. You are in an excellent program. I have been teaching this content. I've been teaching the content now for probably about 12 or 13 years. I've been teaching it here for Sacred Heart for the last 4 years. I really enjoy the class. I like the way these courses are laid out, and I look forward to participating in class along with you. So if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. I look forward to seeing you in class. Look forward to seeing you in the discussion forums. Let me know if you have questions, and we'll get going with you soon.